Welcome back to Hypno 313, guys. Today I'm gonna be talking about Juneteenth, because that's what today is. Today is Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a holiday commemorating emancipation of the slaves, the freedom of the slaves. They call it Emancipation Day, Liberty Day, Freedom Day, Jubilee Day. It's basically a holiday celebrating that the slaves got free, but I don't think that is an important holiday because I feel like it's another race move, another race propaganda that they're doing, mainly Joe Biden. That Joe Biden is doing to just keep the black people oppressed because for some reason he wants black people to keep hating white people, or he wants to keep the hate going. He wants to keep racism going. He wants to keep the hate going. So he made June 19th a federal holiday, which closes all businesses, I think on Friday. On that Friday, it will close all businesses, or wherever that day will land on. Well, I guess this year it would have been a Friday. So he made that a federal holiday on Thursday. This past Thursday, he made that a federal holiday. I never celebrated June 19th. It's really only celebrated in Texas. So, I mean, you can look it up. That's where it was first celebrated. It's like a thing there. It's like their 4th of July. If you ask anybody from Texas, that's what they'll tell you. And I feel like it's not as big as a deal that they're making it. I feel like obviously it's about race, which is basically all the Democrats care about is pushing race and black, white, this is a part of that, which is super sad because they should find something else to talk about that actually makes an impact on this country right now, not something that happened over 100 years ago that really don't matter today, because a lot of black people are still enslaved in their mind. They still have the old oppressed mindset. So why in the world are they celebrating Juneteenth if they still oppressed? It doesn't make sense. I don't even understand, unless your ancestors was a slave, I don't feel like you should be celebrating it. Like, if they weren't a slave at that time, I don't feel like you should be celebrating it. But I mean, you can do it whatever you like. A lot of people are just celebrating it. A lot of black people are just celebrating it because they're black, which is ridiculous. A lot of people don't even know what Juneteenth is about. This is what Juneteenth is about. It's about the emancipation of the slaves. So all the black people got free, and as you see, only half of them are doing something about it. The other half are just being lazy. Less than half. Majority of black people are lazy. And it shows because they're not doing nothing. They're just killing each other, selling drugs, being in gangs. Most of them without guidance. Most of them that have guidance, they've done something with their life. But most of them that didn't have guidance had to find their own guidance and done with something with their life. Just because you are a black person don't mean you can never do something with your life. Doesn't mean that you can never be rich. Doesn't mean you can never own your own business. Doesn't mean that you can't surpass your competitor. Like, doesn't mean that you can't go to college. Like, people instill a lot, well, parents of black children install a lot of fake conditioning into them because of that's the way they were conditioned, and they think it's right to teach their child that, which is we have to do is break the cycle, obviously, because we don't want that BS to keep going down, and we need some real education that's learning about our actual history in America, not just about the color of the people, which they make a big deal about in America is black history. This is ridiculous. Having a month that's called Black History Month is racist. Like, I'm sorry that you can categorize, that you feel so secure about this that you can categorize a whole history of a race into a month. It's very disrespectful. If you ask me, it's very disrespectful. I don't want a certain month to celebrate my heritage or culture. It doesn't make sense, especially that they get to choose a certain month. Like, this is ridiculous. Okay, Black History Month is ridiculous. I don't celebrate Black History Month because there's not a way to celebrate Black History Month, I feel like. Just like there isn't a way to celebrate Juneteenth. What do you do on Juneteenth? How do you how do you celebrate the slaves being free? Especially if none of them were your ancestors. How do you celebrate it? I just want to know, like, what do you do? So I live in Virginia and the DMV area, and I was told that they have events for Juneteenth in DC, which I would love to know what these events are. I haven't even looked it up because it's that pointless to me. What am I getting out of it? What am I teaching my kids? Like, what is this experience about? Is it about just black people and the racist stuff that they went to? Because we already know about that. If you want to keep being stuck in the past and keep talking about what slaves been through, like we don't know what slaves been through, then you can stay in the past, but I know what happened. I don't need reminders and reminders of what happened to try to get me back angry of what happened back then before I was even born. So they just trying to bring up the hate against white people, or I don't know, against whoever don't like black people, which I guess to them is white people. And we're living in a time right now where white people are getting crapped on. Like white people are being called racist because they don't support Black Lives Matter. I don't support Black Lives Matter. Does that mean I'm racist? No. That means I support all lives matter because all lives matter. One specific race group does not matter to me because all lives, all race groups matters to me. For you to specifically pick out a race group and say that matters is saying only that race matters, because you're not saying another race. So when you ever, if you ever say this to a Black Lives Matter person, that's what they say. They say Black Lives Matter, you say all lives matter. They was like, I'm not saying only Black Lives Matter. I don't hear no other race. I don't hear all lives matter, so what are you talking about? Like, if you're not saying all lives matters, then all lives don't matter. You're only saying the Pacific lives matter over other races. That's what that means when you're saying the statement. That's how people are going to take it. It's very racist. If white people was walking around saying white lives matter, it'd be a whole different story, a whole different movement, a whole different type of bashing, okay? Y'all know this. We all know this. Let white people start putting white owned on their store. Come on now. Come on. It just shows the type of attention you want to bring to your store. If you have black owned in your store, like on your store it says black owned, I'm turning around. I'm not coming in. Because you're marketing to a certain group when everybody should be welcome. All lives matter. How do you think another race will feel when they go into your store and you have a Black Lives Matter sign in your window? It will feel awkward to me if if I went in your store and I didn't see there was no sign on the outside and there's signs all on the inside. Yeah, I would definitely walk out. Definitely walk out. You're not getting none of my money. You support evil. You support evil. I believe Juneteenth is a part of that evil. It's a part to keep the hate going. It's a part to keep the black people oppressed. It's a part to keep all the black people down and brainwashed into slavery because they still have the slavery mindset. They don't want to let it go. They can't get over the past. That's on them, okay? That has nothing to do with anything that's happening today, in today's world right now. Okay? So they can keep being butthurt about stuff that happened over 100 years ago if they want to. They can get angry about it if they want to. Democrats can keep trying to divide us if they want to. But at the end of the day, real love, real peace comes together. So we're just gonna keep it at that, guys. Because June 19th, I said June 19th. Juneteenth should not be a federal holiday. It should not be a day where business have to close, especially federal businesses. Like, this is stopping the mail. This is stopping all of that because of what happened over 100 years ago. That has nothing to do with today because the black people still acting like slaves. So what's the point of Juneteenth if the black people are still acting like slaves? What did they learn? Because most of them are still acting like slaves. I can't say all, but most are still acting like slaves. Most are very lazy. Most still think that they're owed something. Most still think that they should get restoration. I never could say that word right. But yes, think he can get money for being a slave, for his ancestors being a slave. The only people that's gonna get that is the natives that has got it. They have got it. So I know that this is not a good holiday. It's just another oppression day, another oppression thing, that movement, propaganda that they're doing to push. I'm not with it. Black people need to wake up because this isn't a positive holiday. So it's positive what happened. It's not positive of the effect of what they're trying to do to make the holiday a holiday. Like, what the effect that they're trying to do is, it's not good for the people. It's not good to keep hatred in your heart and just start spreading it out. Because that's what it's like. I don't understand what they think that this reaction is not going to have. It's going to have a bad reaction. Black people are not going to celebrate being free. They're going to hate white people even more for having their ancestors being slaves. That's how black people think. Most black people think. They think very negative. From my experience of being around most black people, a lot of them are negative. Not all, but most of the ones I've been around are very negative. They do not see the light. Like, it's very hard for them to see anything positive in any situation that they be in. I have to be the one to be like, man, but look on the bright side. Look at this. Man, skip all that, man. We effed up, man. We down in the dumps. I don't focus on the negative. I focus on how to improve and how to get better, how to overcome the obstacle as soon as possible. So, I'm going to just let you guys know that I do not support June 19th as a federal holiday, and it should definitely be removed. The America should not be losing money over this day. We should not be stopping any work or progression in the economy because of this day. So, you can celebrate Juneteenth if you want. I'm not. So I'm signing out, guys, saying I don't celebrate Juneteenth. You can if you want. It's your right. Peace and love, guys.